G'day everyone, Brett here. Great to be with you all and I hope you've had a good Christmas. It's coming up to the new year now, so getting ready for the new year. This year's gone so quick. It has gone quick and I look at it like it's gone quick, but there's a lot that's happened. And I think it's always that way, it just seems to have flown by. But for me, this year's been a very different one. Very, very different. Like a lot happened and a lot of change, but it's happened in a different way. And I guess this falls into the topic that I'm actually talking about today, because I got a question: what does it mean to trust life? And this is a big one because, a lot of the time we don't. We're trying to work it out. We're trying to push, which is an important part sometimes, like having willpower and really like dedicating ourselves to something. But sometimes we just get in our own way. We just get in the way. Like trusting life, okay? Life knows. Life's incredibly intelligent. Like I always say, it's a self-aware, self-organizing, intelligent field that organizes itself, is aware of itself, experiencing itself, through itself, teaching itself, growing and expanding. And we're a vessel, an aspect, a unique expression of this. So we are that. We have that same intelligence that life has, that organizes the cells of our body, enables us to think, to feel, to have conscious choice. It's the essence of who we are and our connection to everyone and everything. It's incredible. It's an extraordinary, intelligent force that knows. Like when we cut ourselves and we trust that it's going to heal because it knows that part of our system, that intelligence organises that for us. We don't have to think about it. It's really the thinking mind that gets in the way of all of this. The thinking mind's based on our past, based on our conditioning, based on our past experiences. And when we're trapped in that little vortex, it's very limited when we talk about the vastness and the extraordinary nature of life itself and us being part of that. So when we can connect to that, there's just a trust. There's a trust and a surrender. Also too, from our perspective, there needs to be a participation. So there needs to be a claiming or a devotion to this. But then it needs to be a getting out of the way. Yeah, trusting life. I trust life. We trust that the sun is going to come up and then it's going to go down and again each day. There's certain things that we know and we're certain of and we trust. But life organises all the time and it knows. Incredibly intelligent. Everything it does, it knows, That's like all the different animals, like all the different creatures, the trees, the plants, the wind, the ocean. It does its thing. The bees pollinate the flowers, the worms nourish the soil. They just do their thing. They don't have to question anything. Human beings, we start to question and get in the way. When we connect to this essence or this connection where life starts to move us in a certain direction without force, when we're in that space we trust because there's a flow that happens. There's an effortlessness. It's just on the other side of that there's the effort. And sometimes we need a bit of effort to build momentum, to get into this flow state. But trusting life trust that I'm going to wake up in the morning. One day I probably won't. Trusting in the incredible nature of life and knowing that it knows what it needs what it needs to do, and knowing that it's just us that gets in the way of that organising effectively. So for me, this last year has been a lot of having to trust, and a lot of times I lost that trust, and the trust is a little bit of trust in this process. So life, I guess, is a process, is a collection of processes and events and situations all rolled into one. But what's happened to me this year, on the 1st of January, I lost my dad quite shockingly, and that rattled me, you know. And so nearly a year ago now. But then I went on an incredible spiritual pilgrimage, not knowing that that's what was actually going on, and ended up in India, in America first, India, South America, in the jungle of the Amazon, and came home and started to build a bit of momentum in life, and I started to think that this is where I was heading, and things were going good, and things were just happening. There was a bit of a flow to life, and then I had an experience. I ended up going out to Uluru. I felt a calling to go out to Uluru, and in that space, I had a profound experience. But I came home empty. I came home, and felt like I'd lost all my ambition. I had no drive, and I felt a bit lost. Also too very free. When I was at Uluru, mind you, I had an incredible experience where I tuned into the energy of nature and had incredible insights and profound life-changing experiences. And I started to see how the Indigenous people started to must have lived in. Like, I got a taste of it, just a slither. I was still glad I could go home and have a shower and get on my mobile phone and drive my car. Let's put it that way. But when I was there and I was in tune with this energy, this force that was sort of guiding me, and I was just going with it, rolling with it. Incredible things started to happen. And yeah, I got a taste of that, and then I came home and lost all my ambition, but I rolled with it, you know. So I cancelled the things that weren't aligned, and then went through a bit of this process. And then I ended up going over east for a little while, and spent a bit of time there. And came back, and for the next 4 months, I was living and working in a drug and alcohol treatment centre, and working with the guys there, and just living in this space, beautiful nature out here. And in that space, this is where the teaching, student of life, game of life teaching started to evolve and come from, this space of this void. So I had to trust in this process, because it's just, in general, like, my life has been driven in a way that there's always been something that I'm moving towards, always been trying to achieve something and accomplish something. And then I had this space that I've been in that was a total dismantling of all of that. And I really, really had to trust this process, because it was something that you don't generally in this today's culture. It's just not acceptable. It's not right, you know. And so I've trusted in this process and come through this, and now things are starting to formulate in such an incredible way, and there's life just moving through me and sharing itself and teachings through me. So this is my own little story about this. I'll share more at another time, but it was quite relevant to the question because, yeah, there's different seasons and cycles we go through in life, and it's really being with where we're at, trusting that, accepting that, and then allowing life, nature, this incredible force that organises all things that we are and we're part of and we collaborate with, we participate with, we are, to do what it does, just to do what it does without getting in the way. And when we do, incredible things start to happen. But just to realise where we're at, trust life, trust the process, and yeah. So, just knowing, trust in life is just knowing that life itself knows what it needs to do, knows what needs to be done. It is intelligent beyond measure. So, it's just about getting out of the way, really. Letting it do its thing. Participating and collaborating in that rather than trying to force it and control. All right, that's me for today. Much love. Peace.